Hi, I'm Shaul. I would like to ask you to put this video on full screen, whatever screen type you are watching it on, and estimate the distance between your eyes and the screen. Just a rough estimation. It is very likely that you are sitting at a distance that is about twice the width of your screen. And there is a good reason for that. From such a distance, you can see the whole width of the screen comfortably within the relatively narrow angle where your eyes can easily focus. It doesn't matter what size of your screen you are watching this on is. The distance, the comfortable viewing distance will always be related to the size of the screen. If you're watching it on a 20-inch screen, you will be seated at around 40-inch or 1 meter from your screen, etc. If you watch it let's say in a movie theater, you will be seated quite far from your screen. The thing is that whatever the screen size is, there is only a finite resolution that is effective. You cannot see any more details. Whatever the resolution of the footage or the resolution of the image, because of that distance. And for a normal human vision, it is about 2,700 positions across the width of the screen. So all you need in an image with an aspect ratio of 3/2 is about 5 megapixel. There is a reason why most Oscar-winning movies, high-end productions, were filmed on the Arri Alexa, which is a 2.8K camera. The megapixel race has always been a driving force for the camera industry. It is relatively easy to increase the resolution of the sensor. All you need is a smaller photodiode. The advancements of lithography and chip manufacturing enable this. It is much easier to increase the resolution of a sensor than, for example, increasing dynamic range or the field ratio, the efficiency of light gathering. At the very beginning, camera sensors were limited by the resolution they offered. The first half of the 2000s, the first decade of the 21st century, there was a race to bring the level of detail of digital cameras to be equivalent to the most common film stocks. That goal was achieved in 2008 or 2009 with the introduction of the Canon 5D Mark II and the Sony A900. Film resolution in its own, which is about 20 megapixels on a 35mm format, 36 by 24 millimeters, is much more than is needed for the maximum resolving power of our eyes. So it already allows a decent amount of cropping. However, since then, resolution of our cameras kept growing. We have now reached a point where a 35mm format camera can shoot at about 60 megapixels. Pixels are tiny. They are less than 4 microns in the pitch. But that is nothing compared to phone sensors that are much smaller than most camera sensors. And their pixel pitch is down to about 1 micron or even less. There is, of course, a limit to the minimum pixel pitch because the wavelength of light itself is between 400 and 700 nanometers, 0.4 and 0.7 microns. And making pixel pitch smaller than this would cause serious issues with color rendition of them. Do you know who this is? Probably not. This is Akira Watanabe. He was the head of planning in Olympus imaging division. And in 2009, he came up with a notion that 12 megapixels are probably enough. That interview where he suggested that gave him a lot of trouble. Other camera manufacturers and by Olympus themselves, not to talk about the photographic user community who kept demanding higher and higher resolutions so they can achieve more cropping. And they were right, because sometimes you do need a higher resolution than what your naked eyes can perceive. However, I would like to argue that those instances are quite specialized. You don't always need that. One of those cases is scientific or industrial photography. In those fields, the camera is used as a measuring device. It is not humans who are the clients of those photographs, but machines that can see a much higher level of detail than our eyes. In those examples, the image is a population of pixels, And there is a statistical analysis run over that population. And of course, the higher the sample size, more significant the differences between two or more categories of pixels. So it is important. I've been involved in developing some machine vision applications, and generally you want as much resolution as possible to make the technology achieve the best results. But again, those results have nothing to do with how pleasing or how aesthetic that image looks to a human viewer. Another case where a very high level of detail is needed is in commercial photography, where the client might choose to use only a very small fraction of an image. And you have to create images that can support it. High resolution also helps you with creating masks and manipulating them according to the client's demand. So I can understand why cameras with hundreds of megapixels are really useful to such photographers. However, for the rest of us plebeians, we don't really need it unless the lenses we use are unsuitable to achieve the results we are after. That might be a case, especially with wildlife photographers. Wildlife photographers are limited by the distance they have to keep between them and their subject. So they have to use very long lenses in order to gap that distance. And sometimes, or may I say too often, the lenses they use are just not long enough, so they find themselves cropping, sometimes in an extreme fashion, in order to optimize the compositions. Sometimes you want to straighten horizons, or just change the aspect ratio of your photograph. If it's going to be printed, for example, for home decor or for a magazine that require a certain aspect ratio that is different from the native aspect ratio of your camera. But in such cases, the crops you need are quite small. You can easily achieve that with a moderately detailed camera, like 12 megapixels. In fact, a 12 megapixel sensor allows you to throw away about 30% of the width or the height of your image without any issues. That would still create an image that is 6 megapixels in total. That is quite detailed enough for regular viewing from a comfortable viewing distance. 24 megapixel camera would allow you to throw away about 50% of the height or width of your image in each dimension. And a 60 megapixel camera would allow you to throw away about 70% of your image in each dimension, which is quite a heavy crop. It would have other side effects. So in terms of croppability, there is a diminishing return. Increasing the megapixel count by a significant amount would not give you the same improvement in how much you can throw away. Aggressive cropping can really make your image ugly. It increases optical aberrations like slight lack of sharpness in critical areas, color fringing that becomes wider and more prominent. It can spoil the nature of bokeh, making double lines and other bokeh aberrations more visible. It can also increase the appearance of grain in your images. And in general, it doesn't improve the image in any way. The magnification ratio, which is the ratio between the image captured on the sensor and the size of the final display, plays a crucial role in the appearance of the image. This, in fact, is the main advantage of larger sensors. It's not dynamic range or high ISO performance. It's more the enlargement ratio. The small sensors do not look very nice when you increase the image to a large print or when you view it close up. Of course, cropping the image obtained by a large sensor camera in effect decreases sensor size and increases the enlargement ratio. Higher resolution than actually required creates larger files that need more processing resources if you do a lot of post-processing on the computer after exposure. Processing resources are even more of an issue with high-resolution video, of course. Especially videos that is captured in more than 8-bit, 10-bit log or RAW. That often requires you to replace your computer. File sizes also affect the storage space needed, either locally on a computer or on a cloud server. Now, storage space is not very expensive. Its prices keep dropping, but all that storage is wasteful, especially remote cloud storage that requires an endless supply of energy to maintain. Consider that most of us store photographs or files that no one is going to look at again, ever. For a lot of us, most of the files we store online are of this category. They're simply not good enough, not important enough images. So perhaps 80–90% of all this storage capacity we use is wasteful. I wouldn't be too concerned about it, but last week we had a significant heat wave. Temperatures here went up to about 47 Celsius. And it has a lot to do with all this energy consumption. I feel we have to be a little bit more responsible to the environment, to future generations, and reduce our signature, in the world. Consume as little energy as we can while keeping our lives on a comfortable level. But we don't have to be wasteful. My biggest issue with high resolution is the pixel sizes on the sensor. The smaller the pixel size, the harder it is to design and produce lenses that actually resolves those tiny details that we mostly cannot see anyway. Pixel pitches that are down to about 6 microns can be resolved by older lenses, lenses designed for film or early digital lenses. Those lenses are generally simpler. They do not require a lot of special glass, unless we are talking about wide-angle lenses, wider than an equivalent of 28 millimeters or so, or very long lenses, longer than 135 millimeter or so. The glass types used are similar in their optical characteristics to our eyes, and they create images that are more dimensional, more poppy. Now, when you go under 6 microns in pixel pitch, you require a lot of low dispersion glass to reduce the amount of chromatic aberration and to increase the resolving power. Lenses with multiple ED elements look flatter to our eyes. The images created are removed from the way we see the world with our naked eyes. A general trend in photography has been flatter and flatter images. The higher the resolving power of the cameras. Those lens designs can resolve down to about 4 microns on the sensor. But now pixel pitch has become even smaller than 4 microns. Not only on smartphones, but also on conventional, professional, interchangeable lens cameras. 60 megapixel, 35 millimeter cameras have a pixel pitch of about 3.7 to 3.8 microns. Same goes for medium format cameras with 100 megapixel sensors, and for APS-C cameras with 26 megapixel sensor. I think those sensors might be cut from the same wafers, just to different sizes, but they all share the same pixel pitch. That pixel pitch is too small for even the best lenses produced these days to resolve. In order to resolve even more detail, even smaller scale or higher frequency, you need tighter tolerances in the production of those glass elements. So there is a limit to that. Sony has been making optical elements with a tolerance of just 10 nanometers, 0.01 microns, which I believe is impossible to achieve with any type of glass. In the G-Master lenses, they incorporate a special type of element class that they call extreme aspherical or advanced aspherical. Those elements look peculiar. They are flat discs with raised edges. And I'm not sure it is even possible to mold glass to those shapes. Actually, when looking at a few G-Master lens designs and giving my attention to those special elements, I remember that I saw them somewhere else before, and those elements, usually located at the rear of the lens, resemble very much some elements used by phone cameras or phone lenses that have a special function of straightening the field. They have a slightly wavy shape, unlike anything made of glass. I think a glass element given this shape would not be very hardy. It would be quite fragile. So I suspect to achieve those special elements with a very tight production tolerance would only be possible with plastic. And I'm afraid this is where optical design is going. I don't know what the optical characteristics of that plastic material used are. I don't know what refractive index and what the other number of those elements. However, I suspect that they will not help the lens create a dimensional image. Images would likely be more similar to what you can expect from a smartphone camera. That is a very flat and, to me, uninspiring result. But this is the price of higher and higher resolutions. Currently, you can still buy new cameras with a pixel pitch of 6 megapixels. I'm talking about stills photography cameras, not about cameras made with mainly video in mind, like the Sony FX3 or A7S3 that are lower in the megapixel count. Full frame cameras with a 24 megapixel sensor still have a pixel pitch of about 6 microns, which supports those slightly older lenses with a lower resolving power that I believe we are after. Those are the lenses that make dimensional, pleasing images that are more true to life. The new cameras made by Sony, the new generation, has already gone beneath 6 microns. Those cameras are typically 33 megapixels, which would give you a pixel pitch of slightly more than 5 microns. Already challenges those nice lenses. Of course, you can still use those nice lenses on a higher megapixel camera, and they will give you the same results. However, the lens manufacturers have less and less incentive to make lenses with older, simpler designs, and they will keep chasing the maximum resolving power of the sensors. Even manufacturers like Leica are well aware of the increasing demand for resolving power of the lenses, and they design their lenses accordingly. Leica's Apo lenses, there's a whole series of them, both for the M mount and for the SL mount, contain a lot of low dispersion glass. Zeiss has been incorporating more and more low dispersion glass in their own lenses. Those manufacturers still refrain from introducing plastic elements into those lenses. They have a tradition of glass manufacturing, but I'm not sure for how long they will resist it. So my question is, what is it all for? Why do we need all those megapixels, all those details, when we cannot really perceive them when looking at images? Hasn't the megapixel race gone far enough? Myself, well, I'm a strong proponent of using the right tools for the job. And I like those lower resolution cameras because they give me just what I need, even a little bit more than enough. I suspect that the real reason most photographers are supporting that megapixel race, why they are interested in higher and higher resolutions, has to do with FOMO, with future-proofing, although even if displays get much more detailed than they are now, our eyes will still be the same. And there is no reason for more than what we can see. Unless, of course, you have a very specific intent, or you are creating machine vision applications. Please tell me what you think. What is the megapixel count of your favorite camera? How many megapixels you think you might need in the future? And what you think of my position, that is perhaps a little bit unusual these days. If you like this video or other videos on my channel, please consider buying me a coffee. It's a nice gesture between gentlemen. You will find the link in the description below. So thank you for watching, and see you again soon.